why did you decide to make a silent film? Follow the footsteps of Charlie Chaplin, I suppose, or
Yes. Um, yeah, I think I've been inspired by uh, the silent movie comedians, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, Harry Langdon, and then getting into uh, Laurel and Hardy. So they got into the talkies, but I think it comes down to the idea of what film can do is one can show the story without words.
yeah,
Other than reading a book, you can show what's happening. So even if you remove the captions or the placards showing the words, you still could get the gist of the story.
yeah.
So I enjoy that style, and I've always been tickled by the silent movies since childhood.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really nice to through your work and work of other artists to let this genre, because to me it's a genre, still breathe and still be productive and still exist, be alive. In fact, a few years ago, I think not like what was that, 5 6 years ago, the silent movie made it to the
Yes,
top,
yes,
the Oscars. So
yes,
so that was quite an achievement. But it tells us that there are still good days ahead, lying ahead, if one takes the time and the effort to write for such movies in a way that can convey all these very nice feelings we get when we don't have the when we don't need to filter the words, the talking, because you talk and then you already have the what it is said and what it is meant, and all these things that are very or maybe even socially binding things. Talking is also putting us in a certain social setup that the non-talking films don't put us to me at least. I it's more universal. Let's say it's
yes.
but you need to tell me more. I mean, you made that choice because you like the style since childhood, but also I suppose as a challenge for a screenwriter, a director. I suppose you were also trying to achieve something.
Sure, sure. A couple of things about, I guess, the background and then of me. Um, I have well, he has since passed away, but a fellow friend and thespian had put together a kind of a stage version that had some was the I guess the seed for the love note. And at that same time, I had done a silent movie short about 10 years ago, and he saw my short and he said, "Oh, I'd like to do a stage version of your silent movie." So we kind of made a trade a little bit, at least the inkling of that. Also, in my theater stage education, I really leaned against the physical theater side of performing, and Marcel Marceau, which I'm sure you know, he traveled the world. One of my teachers from long ago studied with Marcel Marceau in Paris, and then also Marcel Marceau's teacher, Etienne Decroux. So anyway, I got a background and basis for performing as a mime myself. So that's another part of just how I've communicated a lot in my artistic expression has been silently.
Excuse me. You played a character in the movie, because
Right.
the way you look now, I can't really recognize you. But,
I need my hat and
yeah,
my
yeah, with
mustache. Yeah,
mustache. But yeah, okay. Now it's even
kind of
clearer.
the Keystone Cop ish character.
Yeah. That's nice, you know. But yeah, so you were trying to convey the ideas that you conveyed, because you conveyed some also very modern ideas. I mean, it's not because it's a silent movie that it's talking about ancient time. You are trying to me, I mean, watching your film, I see it as a very modern film about relationships, and how we can fall for the glamour of things very often, when really there's no benefit to that, but we still fall into this the glamorous world that that surround us, and sometimes fail to see the real people that could really that touch us, and that could really have an impact, on a positive impact on our life. And I felt that it's part also of your message in this film. But tell me more. I mean, why you chose this funny situation in Happyville, and but still it is telling us about the drama of relations in modern life. Let's say a divorce for one thing, and then
Yes.
one divorce, rushing into something that looks nice, but it's in fact just it's some kind of illusion, and then maybe at the end finding the true love, or yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Wow, you summed it up. Very good. Yes, I did want it to be contemporary and not too far away. I think there's after this was completed, I thought, okay, where would the characters go from here? So I think a next episode would be a wedding and all the pratfalls, and I'm just looking for all the bits, of course, like what would be funny, but have things come around, so in a circle of sort, or all work out in the end. So I think the couple going off, maybe this is 6 months later, not too soon, maybe a year later, and they're finally going to get married. So I think that's my next
Oh, you want
my
a sequel to this
yeah, I think
love
it could.
story?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it could carry on.
it could carry on. Yeah, maybe have a kid or something. I don't
Yes, kid, you got to have a dog or a cat.
know. Like, yeah, but still in Happyville. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
why
yeah.
not?
It's it looks like a nice place to me. Yes, at least the assignment is to be happy. If you want to live here, you gotta be happy.
You got, yeah, yeah. It might be a bit of a facade, but
Yeah, yeah,
but I think the audience is buying into that.
yeah, and then you need to want to be happy also. I mean sometimes you could be forced to do a happy move, but then it could help you really get closer to happiness, because the way to happiness maybe is happiness, not sadness. I don't know, but then so tell me, how is you've done other projects, haven't you? In movie projects, were they silent also, or are you open also to talk in movies?
Yes, yes. Got plenty of films that are I've just kind of stayed in the shorts category, at least for now. But
Okay.
yes, definitely films with dialogue.
I'm asking this to ask you, what is the process for a silent film? How do you see it yourself as a director, but also as an interpreter, as a character, as an actor? How do you see the process different in terms of what it takes, what it requires from you in terms of, yeah.
Um, I think there's some similarities where at least with the love note, I wrote out, you know, what they would be talking if there was a dialogue to give maybe a through line, and then uh, and then removed it or just didn't put it in. So I think that was at least in my process a helpful tool to tie things together. So I stuck with kind of writing out or at least giving the visuals of what's happening, because there was, you know, the Lazzi of, you know, can't get the ring, you know, pulled off, and the divorce papers flying around. So there was things that were I blocked in that, you know, left room for improv. So it was a little of both.
Okay, but one thing that is, well, it is a characteristic of silent movies, but you used it also, is exaggerates a bit the gesture, you know, and this is, I suppose, part of your directing your actors. You specifically told them to be more generous in terms of uh, gesture and
Yes, we could be big. So we could be
yeah.
larger. It wasn't at a level of a stage production, but you know, in some of the wide shots, it was allowed. So you know, the film camera can get close and intimate, and you know, as you know, a wink or a subtle shift of an eye can mean so much. So yes, we did have that room to be bigger maybe than normal.
And at the same time, you said that you did you give the actors the lines they were supposed to say, but so that they get a sense of where they are and what they should be doing physically, because they're supposed to convey such meaning or such other meaning.
Yeah, we
Is
had
this
there was some written dialogue, just you know, myself as the cop had some words like at the beginning with the man, and so yes, or clean this up and put this in the trash. So I could it was written in the script. So, but it was loose too.
okay? Is this a way to help the actor find the good manner of physically expressing and telling whatever he needs to be telling? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. It gives maybe some reality, since we don't often walk around as mutes, and so I think we're not just miming in our daily life usually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, uh, it's true that in a world where people tend to talk a lot, you come with this other way of communicating, and which is just as effective as talking too much. I mean, you talk very little, and you can pass on the information. Then it's really nice. It's what cinema is. Was all about, and it's still all about. I mean, we try
Yes.
to. And this, how did it do? What was the audience reaction to your movie so far? you've went, I suppose, to festivals, and well, what is the reaction?
Yeah, we the film performed here in Arizona in Phoenix at the Phoenix Film Festival a few weeks back, or maybe it was last month, and that was one time where gave me the chance to, you know, have an audience who hadn't seen this and didn't know me, and of course I was listening to see what people were getting. So I think it's been very positive um, on the using the Film Freeway platform, um, along with your film festival. It's played at 8 different festivals over the past 6 months or so. So it's been very receptive, and maybe the uniqueness of being a silent film has helped. I don't know what was the judging panels, why it was, but I've been grateful that it's been accepted to so many
Yeah.
places.
Well, it's a very nice movie. Plus you don't need to do any read any subtitling. If you
Right.
if you come to Morocco, people would need to read the subtitles to understand, and here, it's quite self-explanatory, because, as you said, even though we may have little words here and there, but it's really it's more done to be in the form of the ancient silent films than really to convey meaning. The meaning is very clear. What have you done other comedies? Are you a comedy writer, or is this just a genre that you've tried in this movie? Or, I mean, what is your stance in terms of using comedy as a tool to express oneself?
I think myself, I do more comedy myself. If I'm doing any stage performing work, that's my preference. Though I think I've covered a variety of doing more, not quite horror, but I've done a piece that was kind of a darker, scarier, and then there's been some dramas. Uh, a piece that I'm currently working on is based on a true story of friends of mine. Well, friends, I met them through this project, that had lost their daughter to domestic violence. So that's not a comedy subject, but we had a play version of that piece that was performed for stage, and that's being currently where I'm working on that with the team, and we're turning that into a screenplay. So that's something that's on the opposite end of this film festival.
Yeah. But so, what do you find in comedy that you cannot achieve in other genre? I mean, why do you make the choice to tell something in a funny way, or in a with humor, or why do that?
Well, I prefer to be happy in general. Back to the Happyville we were just speaking about, and yeah, I think there's more room in improvisation and just in play to be more upbeat. So I think that's why I lean that way. I think the serious dramas can be well, they're depressing, and I'd rather be happy. You look like a happy person. I think you would rather be happy too.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy watching comedies, obviously, and drama is it conveys also a lot of emotions, but it's heavy at the end. You feel like you're tired, from all these emotions. While in comedy, you feel uplifted. You feel like you're, you could you could do exercise, you could do anything because you feel light, you feel so I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah. What are your plans in the future? So you told me about this feature film. Now you're planning to direct or produce,
Yes.
or okay, it's
Yeah, I'll be directing that. I might have a small bit role for myself, but yes, the gentleman that's our main character in the Love Note, he'll be playing a part of the abuser
okay.
in that project, and he worked with me on the stage version of that script, so that's why he's already set for that. So yeah, that's the current project. Of course, as I was just kind of voicing with you about a continuation of Love Note, that's something that I would like to do. And then there's always little bits of ideas as an artist, I think, that are always floating in my head. And maybe at some point, they finally land and, oh, this is the time to do this. So I guess I'm being a little kind of in a free flow right now of
Yeah.
what's next.
Yeah, well, yeah, one has to be open to any new things, and still concentrate to be able to produce things. And any film would require concentration, a lot of dedication before, you can see it on screen. So I can imagine how, one has to be able to play on both, and you're an independent producer also, or do you bring in producers to help you with your films, or you are the one looking also for the means to make your films?
Yes. I handle most of it as I'm expanding into bigger projects. It would be great to have some people handle bringing in some funds, but sometimes it just comes back to me taking care of it.
Yeah,
I think back to the idea of well, just filmmaking, even on our devices that can shoot video. I think it's been so accessible for so many people now to
yeah,
go out and just make a piece of artwork. It might not be Hollywood quality, but but it can be done. So it's I think that's a plus, at least for really anybody, that one can go out there and put any kind of story together at a very low cost.
yeah. And but also make sure that the story could even tell more than a Hollywood great film, but with less emotions, less sincerity in telling the story. And we see more and more now these some young independent filmmakers that are capable of with little means do excellent movies, with especially on the platforms, Netflix and all those things. Now it's a big
Yes.
opportunity for independent filmmakers. And yeah, I understand why everybody wants to take advantage of that.
Right.
It's, it's good. Well, Kirby, thank you so much for being with us today. We hope the best luck for your movie in our festival, obviously, and also the best luck to you. And hopefully, when you'll have the sequel, you'll think of Rabat-Comedy to bring it,
I'll
because
send it to
people
you.
will remember the first one, and they would want to know what happens in that.
Yes. So,
Thanks again.
oh, thank you. A question for
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
So, language wise, in Morocco, Arabic, is there French? How
Yeah.
are people?
Well,
How is it with
mainly
English?
Moroccan
Mm-hmm.
Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have also many people who speak another national language called Amazigh. Amazigh is like the autochthonous people, they were Amazigh, and then Arabic was, came from the east. And
Okay.
then beyond that, Morocco was at one point French colony and Spanish colony in the north,
Yes.
which means that a
Yes.
lot of people speak French and Spanish. They learn it in school or in their families, and so people are French is also also a language that is very common in Morocco,
Okay.
and now more and more people, especially young people, speak English.
Wow.
So for a festival like ours, international festival with movies coming from different countries, we have English subtitling, and it works pretty well for our audience, because we bring in professionals, we bring in cinema students to our festivals mainly. And all those people, are quite, at ease with the English. So it works pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Excellent. How many languages do you speak?
I speak French, Spanish, and Arabic, and English.
My gosh. Mm,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Well, we're in a crossroad here, and because of
You are.
our history, it's like, because there are younger people, Moroccans, who speak even more languages, and they don't even study it. They just connecting with other people, tourists, and they are capable of speaking Italian or speaking German, and for some reason, the more you speak, the more languages you speak, the more capacity you have in speaking other languages. So you could
Yes.
build on that to speak other languages, but for me, it's too late to learn other languages.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thanks for
Well,
filling me in.
meeting you and talking to you, and let's stay in touch. All right.
Thank you much. I'm very grateful. Thanks for this interview, and have a great festival.